Hello guys, and what's going on? So in this one we are gonna take a look at the echo statement. So let me create a new file. Okay, Control Shift and S at the same time, and let's call it echo.php. Okay, now let me start my PHP right there. And what's basically the echo statement? The echo statement, or the echo constructor, it's just a method for outputting something on the screen. It can be used with single columns or double columns. Okay, and we are gonna take a look at those in the variable lecture. But now let's output something on the screen as we did in the last video. Okay, echo, and yeah, it can be used with a parentheses or not. So let's try the parentheses first. Now let me type in, let's say I can just type that out with coding. Okay, let me just go to this page right there, and here you go. There is our text right there, and we can simply remove that out as we did in the last video, and it will be the same thing. And we can also echo out just PHP tags inside HTML tags inside the PHP statement itself. Let me use single quotes this time, and here is an H2 tag. This is a normal heading, and we need to end that H2, and that will basically print it out on the screen, but I need to echo out a BR tag right there. Okay, now if we refresh this, can you see right here it's an H tag right there. And if we look into the source code of this page, okay, here's the body, and it only shows the H2 right there, and here is the text. Of course, the PHP language or the PHP lines will not appear on the inspect right in there, because it's a server-side language. It's executed on the server. So this is basically what echo is. In the next one, I'm going to talk about print and the differences between them. Okay, so see you in the next video. Hello guys, and what's going on? So in this one, I'm going to show you how to basically use print and what are the main differences between print and echo. So let me go to my file folder so I can create a new file, and I'm just creating all these files so you guys can keep their code as a reference. Okay, so there is our file ready right there. So we need to just write our PHP, and basically print is just an echo, but with some differences. Okay, so let me try some examples right there. Print, okay, and you can use it with the parentheses. can use it with a semicolon, with a single quotation, sorry. You can use it with double quotation. So let me try double quotations, and let me write hello from Brent. And this is a semicolon. Go to my file right there. Oh, this is wrong. Didn't mean to do that. Print, just like that. Okay, so this is it. It's really easy. Just a symbol print. And now let me do some math with it. Let's say 9. And this is it. And now it's 2 right there. So this is basically it. And now to some differences between echo and print. So the most famous one is print is just an print has a return of value, so it can return 1 or 0, and that means it can be used as an expression. Okay. On the other hand, echo cannot be used as an expression. It doesn't return any value. It doesn't return 1 or 0, just like print. We can do an example of that. If I assign I want to assign every one of them to a variable, and we will see what the result will be. So I want you to think of a variable right now as a data holder. Okay, I'm not going to explain variables in this lecture. I will do it in the next lecture. So let me just write a variable right here, and basically you write a variable by writing the $sign and then the name of this variable, which can set it to whatever you want, but let me set it to var right now, and I need to assign it to print. Let me print something here. Hello from var. Okay, if I end this, and let me do some PHP. See, let me do some HTML tags right in there. VR, just like this, and there you go. You can assign it to a variable, and it can still print this. Just it can be used then as an expression, so you can set it to a variable or whatever. But if we try this variable too, let me create another variable right there, and if we assign it to echo hello from variable 2, let me see what happens. You can see here it gives us an error, syntax error, unexpected echo. So echo cannot be assigned to a variable because it doesn't return any value and it's not an expression. Okay, so this is obviously the first difference between them. Let me comment this out, and I want to tell you everything I know about comments in the next lectures, but all you need to understand about comments right now that the code that's commented will not be executed. Okay, so select them and control and slash, just like that, so they will not be executed. Okay, so this is the first difference. The second difference is echo is faster than print. Okay, this is basically the second difference. The third difference is print can only hold one argument. Okay, but echo can hold more than one argument. And let me show you this. with an example. Here is an echo, hello. This is argument 1. Okay, and after this comma we are going to write our second argument. Hello from argument 2. Okay, if we echo that out, and you can see right there, let me take this print R. Oh, kind of weird. Hello from echo 1. Okay, I need to just, let me adjust that. And all we need just here to give it some space right here. We don't need this print R. Only we need to give it just some space so it can be readable. So this is it. You can assign more than one argument at a time. This is called an argument. This space after the comma right there. This is called an argument. Okay, but if we do this with print, let me try it out. I will just copy this. I don't want to waste your time. Okay, if we save it, if we refresh, you can see right here syntax error unexpected comma. So basically when the interpreter comes and try to execute this, this is print right there. It will only take this one argument right here, and it will see this as a typo. Okay, this is kind of weird or strange for him or odd, so it can't read it because this is print right there. So this is basically the differences between echo and print. You can try and do some exercises. I will leave some of those exercises in the coding exercises section. And yeah, these are basically the differences. So see you in the next video. Hello guys, and what's going on? Okay, so in this one I'm going to show you what are variables, how to use them, how to create them, and why we actually use variables. So let me create my file. We simply call it vars.php. There you go. I think you're tired of that already, right? Okay. So what are basically variables? A variable is basically a data container. Okay, nearly everything you see on web pages are basically variables. I would say some of them variables, but some are not, because actually databases values are handled as arrays, which is in a way is a variable. Okay, but we'll talk about them later. But think of a variable, for just a better explanation or a more simpler explanation, as a box. If you have a box, you can leave it empty like that, or you can put something into it. You can give that box to the user. He can put something into it. He can just leave it like that, empty. Just a simple explanation. Think of it as a box for handling stuff. Okay, and variables can hold a lot of data types. There are basically 8, I would say, but we're not going to talk about them in this video. Okay, we will leave that for another video. Today we are looking into variables. Okay, so let me just create my first variable right there. Basically, for creating variables in PHP, this is kind of the PHP way of creating variables. This way is just for PHP. Is writing or starting the variable name with a $sign. If you don't start with a $sign, it will trigger an error. and after the dollar sign you can put any, you can put any character you want, or this dash, this dash sign. But you cannot use, after the dollar sign, you cannot use any number or any sign, any sign except the dash sign right there. Okay, so if we go ahead and our first variable, let's call it user name, and we need to assign it. So to assign it, we're going to use the equal sign, and we can assign it to whatever data type we want. Okay, for strings, as you may know, you can use double columns or single columns as you like. Okay, let's say username Ahmad 123. Now let's end this with a semicolon, and this is basically a variable, a simple variable. If we want to echo this, or we need to use it just an echo, and this, and use the variable name to echo. Okay, we're going to end this with a semicolon and go to our browser right there and the name, and you can see right there it's this easy, to do variables or to create variables. If you want to create some else, some other variable or a second variable, you can set this to number, and we can use any number we want. And for numbers, we don't actually need to use, we shouldn't use these quotes right there, the single or the double quotes, or it will consider it as a string. So if we go like this and try to echo it out, just like that. I'm going to just echo a BR right there, so you can make it readable. Refresh, you can see the 8, it's just right there. So this is a string, this is a number. The two of them are basically symbol data types. Okay, symbol values, symbol data types as values or whatever. Okay, so this is basically it for variables. So one other thing I want to point out about variables, they are case sensitive. Okay, variables are case sensitive, which means this one right there, this number right there, will be different from the capital form of it. Let's set this to 9, and if I go ahead, let me just copy this real quick. If I go ahead and copy this, it will print out this one, it will echo out this one. If I go ahead, there is 9 right there. So this is basically different from this. So variable names are case sensitive, and that means they're treated differently based on the it's capital or not capital, based on the form of them. So this is it for variables, and yeah, thanks for watching. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and what's going on? So in this one we are gonna take a look at constants. Okay, so I'm in my in my file right here. I create this file constants just to save you some time. It is my PHP tags, and let's discuss what's basically a constant. So a constant is a name identifier for a value. Okay, it's like a variable in a way, but it has some main differences. It can be differentiated from a variable. So a constant, some differences are that the constant cannot be changed, like its value cannot be changed. Okay, once it's defined, it will never be changed. Okay, this is the first difference. The second difference is you can access constant throughout your script. Okay, you can access them from your local scope or your global scope. Okay, this is it for constants. Now let's see how to actually write them. First you type in define, our parentheses right there, and this is basically will take three parameters. First of all, the name of this constant, and by convention we like to write it in all uppercase. So I'm gonna write the name constant, can choose any name you want, and the second parameter, which can be any type of value you want, an integer, a float, a boolean, a string, any data type you want, but I'm going to choose a string. Let's say this is a constant. And the third parameter, which is going to be like the case sensitivity. Okay, and this is by default false, which means that this is actually this is case insensitive right there. This is this constant basically is case sensitive, so we can leave it as this or we can remove it like that because it's actually by default false. Okay, we can end the statement with a semicolon, and now let's print out our constant. Okay, let me just get it. Constant right there. Yeah, a couple of other things to to remember, to point out about naming constants, that you can only use characters or our dash sign, okay, to write them. You don't have to use the dollar sign or any sign, only characters. You have to start with characters or our dash sign. Okay, so let me save this and go to my browser right there, local host /php course /constants -php, and there you go. Here is our value right there. Let me do one more. Define, let's say number. I'm gonna do just a number. Let's say 99. And let me echo it out. Just like that. Okay, let me do a print R right there. Okay, you can see that I made this I made this error on purpose right there. I meant to write it like that. Just I want to show you that it's actually not case sensitive. So all we have to do is go over here and write our as third parameter. We need to turn this from false to true. We save this, go right back over here. You can see here is our 99. despite the fact that this is in all uppercase and this is in lowercase. We can actually turn this like that if you want. Okay, this is in all uppercase, this is in all, lowercase. It will print it right, it will print it as it is. It will print the value out of it because we turn this from false to true right there. It will be case sensitive. Okay, and there you go, right there. So this is it for this video, and see you in the next one.